Welcome to this video, everybody. I'm gonna talk about Bitcoin. I'm gonna talk about the pump we saw yesterday, and I'm gonna tell you if this is the bottom and what you want to trade in the upcoming weeks. So let's start with the question, do I personally think this is the bottom? I don't think so, and I'm gonna prove it to you as well. But first, let's talk about how the hell did we get a pump like this? Well, you need to look at it as the following. We consolidated between 67 and the lows of 59 in the last, well, we did it since, let's say, June. Okay, so like 1.5 months we were consolidating, price went nowhere, and we got a huge breakout. But is this really new buyers coming into the market? And the answer is no. This is just a huge short squeeze, and we can see if we open the open interest right here, the open interest went down. So this means positions did get closed on the way up. So what happened? Basically, it was really easy for the market to make this happen. Why? On the left side right here, there was actually no resistance, right? There's no resistance, no supply, nothing. So it's really easy for the market to move up towards the next supply. Well, and if we look at the big trade indicators right here, we see the actual supply started right here. The first actual supply in the whole move to the downside, and at the upside we have the highest supply sitting at 81.5. We also had liquidity, resting liquidity internally right here, and we have obviously a lot of liquidity still open right here. Why? The highs never got taken out as well. So if we zoom out, what can we expect? Well, we see obviously that a lot of buyers failed to push higher prices right here, exactly on their previous level where they fail. Okay, so the question is, what is still open at the top side? Okay, so the previous time we went here, the market stayed a few days above, let's say, 80k. A few days before we went all the way back down to 59. And now we are basically back at the same spot. So what I think will happen is exactly the same, but now we want to take the resting liquidity from the upside. So it's not unrealistic to think we see a small pullback back here. Late buyers will try again, and we see some kind of distribution model here before we move back to the lows. Okay, and I am going to tell you shortly why I think we will see 59 again. But first of all, this is a really important scenario to understand. The sellers will come in, the sellers will put more pressure, we will take the liquidity, and the shorts will fill up, and we can break down back to the lows. Okay, this is the scenario I think is supposed to happen at this point. But of course, we are gonna watch the charts in the upcoming week, and it can be like, well, maybe is this the bottom, but when will that be validated? And that's, for me, it's really easy. If we actually push above 83, we close above, we find a retest, and we see acceptance above, and the price moves higher. If this happens, then I will switch my bias. But until then, I will search for shorts back to the lows. Why? If we zoom in right here, this level is untested. This level here is untested and still open. We have a lot of liquidity here as well that never got swept before we went. So there is good reason to go down. And now, if we zoom out and we take this first low, and we have our second low right here. Let's remove all the other lines for now and take a look at the Wyckoff schematics. Okay, so we have the first accumulation schematic right here. We have low number 1. We have our low number 2, but we are missing the spring phase as we speak. Okay, we are missing the spring phase. So if we zoom out, we are missing the spring phase. So if this doesn't play out and we are not testing this, the buyers did fail at their previous level, and we go back down from here and we create the spring test before we go, this is actually healthy and this is actually super bullish. So if this happens, I want to see the pullback all the way down, creating the third low. Then the open interest needs to rise, new longs need to open, the demand needs to be real, and then we can say like, okay, now it is possible that we are having a bottom. But at this point, I think we are at phase B. If you see my mouse right here, I think we are around here, going back down anytime soon. If we go to the accumulation schematic 2, it's basically the same, but with a higher low condition right here. But in this case, we are still at phase B again, okay? But if we are going to create the higher low, then I want to see the liquidity swept right here and not going this low like this, boom, going up, okay? So I think this is not the bottom. I think we should expect more downside next week. But if we go to the lower time frames, I don't think, as we speak, as I made this video, this is the top. Why? Because we see a lot of bulls still holding the support. So it is normally to think that we are going to attack the highs at least. So when I'm going short is when the bulls try to attack the high, we see a failed action above and we see engulfing candles coming in and the sellers take over. But that is not the case right now. So I'm expecting more upside. I'm not opening shorts just yet. And if we go back to the daily chart right here, I would like at least to see this supply being tested right here. And if we push up, then I will expect we take at least the liquidity resting right here at 82.5. Okay, that are two main short opportunities for me where I look at. I also think if we are going down, we can see the bottom of this candle is not really properly tested yet. So if we find a short position here, you can easily hold it open back to 68k at least. Okay, so going in right here after a failed auction and a lower high and taking all the liquidity, you can at least hold until here and see what happens. So you already will find a really nice trade right there. But the thing is, at this point right now, I wouldn't take any positions. So I don't want to take long positions. Why? We just missed the whole move, right? You're coming late to the party and you don't know if we are going to break out. So if you have FOMO right now, it's better to wait a little bit. If we actually break 83, and we hold the retest, or at least wait for here and hold. If we hold the retest, prices going up again, you have a way better position. Why? If you go in now, guys, you don't know where to put your fucking stop loss, right? Your stop loss, well, it should actually be here, but risk reward wise, it's not worth it. This is actually not where you want to trade. You need to have a little bit more patience right now. And for shorts, we need a lot of more patience. Why? We need a distribution to form here. We need the bulls to stop absorbing here. The bulls can't have anything to say anymore. And well, look at this. You can see at the wicks, the bulls are still here, but they are not really strong as we look at the open interest going down. So this means bulls are absorbing here, but they are not getting aggressive. And this is actually something really good for a next push in the make. It's like silence before the huge storm, you know? Why? Because if the open interest switches up now and starts going up and prices going up as well, well, what does this mean? The late buyers are coming in and that is the trap where they will get stuck. And we want to short if the trapped buyers need or getting forced to get out. Otherwise, they will lose a lot of money and then they will go out of their long positions. They will get liquidated, whatever. If that happens, that's the short scenario. So we need to wait, guys. We need to wait before these bulls are trapped and then we can go in short. So, long story short, do I think this is the bottom? No. Can we go long here? Well, we could, but I don't think it's the best long. We could go for a little smaller position, like going here and see what happens if it moves to 83. But I don't like this at all. I'm just waiting out to when we see a liquidity sweep or a failed auction above 83. And otherwise, I am looking for longs back at the lows. Okay, I don't believe we will see a bottom until October at least. So yeah, don't have FOMO, and I will let you know next week how this progresses. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.